Shri Guru Gaur Chandra Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Guru Raj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajaka Statavasita Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajaka Statavasita Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Darde Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission morning class. Ki Jai. Jai Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jita Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidangscha Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sva Padantikam Haribo. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. So we are just finishing this chapter called the Deliverance. Oh, I'm not quite finishing, but pretty soon. And this is the deliverance of Sri Gopinath Pattanayaka, who is the son of Bhavananda Rai, very, one of the 5 sons of Bhavananda Rai, who are compared to, or who are non-different from, in some respects, the 5 Pandava brothers and their father Pandu. And now, Bhavananda Rai, along with his 5 sons, fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who lifted him up and embraced him. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai. Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
We are now on verse 129. Ramananda Rai Adi Shabai Milila Bhavananda Rai Tabe Bali Tela Gila. Thus Ramananda Rai, all his brothers and their father met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Bhavananda Rai began speaking. Tomara Kinkara E Shabamora Kula E Vipade Raki Prabhu Punan Nila Mula. All these members of my family, he said, are your eternal servants. You have saved us from this great danger. Therefore you have purchased us for a proper price. Bhaktavatsalya ebe prakata karila purve jena pancha pandave vipade tarila. You have demonstrated your love for your devotees, just as when you previously saved the 5 Pandavas from great danger. Neta dati mate gopinata charane padila rajara kripa vrittanta shakala kahila. Gopinath Pattanayaka, his head covered with the silken wrapper, fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and described in detail the king's mercy toward him. Baki kodi badar dviguna vartana kaila puna bishaya diyaneta dati paraila. The king has excused me for my balance due, he said. He has reappointed me to my post by honoring me with this silken cloth and has doubled my salary. This was in India, but not only in India, but in other cultures also. The ancient Thai culture and in other places also. Giving a silken cloth or like a scarf was a symbol of honor. Kaha changer uparase marana pramada kaha neta dati puna e shabha prasada. I was lifted upon the changa to be killed, but instead I was honored with this silken cloth. This is all your mercy. Changera upare tomara charana jnana kailum charana smarana prabhave e palapailum. On the changa I began meditating upon your lotus feet, and the power of that remembrance has yielded all these results. Loke chamatkara mora e shabadekiya prasang se tomara kripa mahima ganya. Struck with wonder by my affairs, the populace is glorifying the greatness of your mercy. Kintu tomara smaranera nahi e mukhya pala palabasa e jate vishaya chanchala. However, my Lord, these are not the principal results of meditating on your lotus feet. Material opulence is very flickering, therefore is simply a glimpse of the result of your mercy. So this is a really important point. Otherwise, this story can be a little bit confusing because these devotees are not meditating on Mahaprabhu for these kinds of results. So even Gopinath Pattanayaka is saying, of course, I'm about to be killed, I want to be absorbed in your lotus feet. And just by absorbing my mind on your lotus feet, all these other sort of byproducts have come. This is all these amazing things took place, and the general populace is thinking that this is the chief result of meditating on Mahaprabhu, that Mahaprabhu will perform miracles and one's life will be saved, and that sort of thing. But Gopinath Pattanayaka is saying, just by meditating on your lotus feet, in love for you, these things automatically happen. This is how wondrous you are. Just meditating on you is so wondrous. All these other things will automatically happen, perhaps. So this is important. However, my Lord, these are not the principal results of meditating upon your lotus feet. Material opulence is very flickering. Therefore, it is simply a glimpse of the result of your mercy. Purport: one can achieve the highest perfection of life simply by meditating on the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Generally, people are concerned with four religious principles, namely religion, material opulence, sense gratification, and liberation. These are the four general aims of life of religious people. However, as indicated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Dharma Prochita Koitavotra, success in these four kinds of material gain are not the true results of devotional service. So if we think, oh, this good thing happened to me materially, that's Krishna's mercy, then what if something bad happens? Is that not Krishna's mercy? So this is very good. So this is not a proper understanding. If something comes, some kind of miracle comes, that is his business, whatever he likes to do for his own reason. But we don't meditate on the Lord for some material profit of any kind. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gopinath Pattanayaka could understand that the material benefits he had achieved were not the ultimate result of meditating upon his feet. And really, that's not why he was doing it. He did it because it is natural for him. He's the eternal servant of the Lord. The true result comes when one is detached from material opulences. Therefore, Gopinath Pattanayaka prayed to the Lord for such detachment. Rama Rai Baninate Kaila Nirvishaya Se Kripamote Nahita Date Aichehaya. Your real mercy has been granted to Ramananda Rai and Baninath Rai, for you have detached them from all material opulence. I think that I have not been favored by your mercy. So that's an important statement. Saying, look at these two, they're so renounced. So maybe I have not been favored by you. Shuddha Kripa Kara Gosai Guchaha Vishaya Nirbinna Hainu Mote Vishaya Nahaya. Kindly bestow upon me your pure mercy, so that I may also become renounced. Or as the Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, let me now love your lotus feet as much as I now love sense gratification. Of course, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his humility is feeling these kinds of feelings of separation. But this is also being expressed by Gopinath Pattanayaka. I'm no longer interested in material enjoyment. Prabhu kahe sannyasi Ajabe haiba panchajana kutumba bahulya tomara ke kare barana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if you all adopt the renounced order and lose interest in dealing with pounds, shilling, and pence, who will take charge of maintaining your large family? Mahabhishaya karakiba virakta udasa Janme janme tumi panchamora nijadasa. Whether you are involved in material activities or become completely renounced, you 5 brothers are all my eternal servants, birth after birth. He's saying that the renounced order or the grihastha order, those are both completely superseded by devotion. If there's devotion, either one of those doesn't matter. So he's saying, don't take the renounced order of life. You have this big responsibility. So it's not necessary, because you are all my eternal servants. Of course, to take the renounced order is very glorious, because it is a sacrifice in order for the preaching. But it is not a necessary thing to do. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that one should always remember that he is eternally a servant of Krishna. Whether one is engaged in material activity, meaning material means dealing with many things, involving pounds, shilling, and pence, or is in the renounced order, he should always think that he's an eternal servant of God, for that is the real position of the living being. Both taking sannyas and dealing in pounds, shilling, and pence are external affairs. In any condition, one should always consider how to please and satisfy Krishna. Thus, even if one is involved in great material affairs, he will not become attached. As soon as one forgets that he's an eternal servant of Krishna, he becomes involved in material attachments, whether he's a sannyasi or a grihastha. And I'm going to tell a story in this regard right now. However, if one is always conscious that Krishna is the Supreme Master and that he's an eternal servant of Krishna, he is a liberated person in any condition. Entangling material activities will not affect him. If he's seeing everything in relation to Krishna, it doesn't matter. So there's Srila Guru Maharaj tells a story from the Ramanuja Sampradaya. And Ramanuja had one very favorite disciple. And now I forget his name, maybe it'll come in a minute, but he was a grihastha. And the sannyasis were rather envious of him, a little jealous, because he got so much favor from Ramanuja, even though he was a householder. And then one of Ramanuja's servants came and said, why is it that you have so much favor towards a grihasta. And he said, oh, let me show you why. So when all the sannyasis at noontime went to bathe in the river before taking prasadam, then Ramanuja instructed that servant, you switch their things around. Put this water pot over here, and put this stick over here, and put this dhoti here, and switch things around. And when they came out of the water, they were quarreling. What? Why? Where is my cloth? Where? You have my cloth? And they were all upset, very upset about this. And then he called for that grihasta to come sit with him for a while. And he told that servant, you go and take the ornaments from his wife. And this is the time of day when most people are resting in the heat of the day. This is traditional in India. Things all close up in the early afternoon because of the hot and people take rest. So he stealthily went into the room where the wife of that devotee was sleeping. She's lying down, and he very carefully started removing the jewelry from her body, her bangles, her whatever, earrings, and then she turned over, and he ran away. And when that devotee went back home, and when he came in the house, the wife said, Prabhu, why is there some lack of money in the temple? The ashram? Is there some lack of funds in the temple? And he said, no, don't think so. And he said, why do you ask me that? She said, because that Prabhu came and he was taking my bangles. And then when I turned over, he left. And the man said, well, why did you turn over? She said, so he could take the ones from my other arm. And he said, oh, okay, that's okay. And then Ramanuja, that servant, was watching this conversation from the window. And he said, oh, now I understand why you favor him so much, and his wife. He said, oh, do we need to give some money to the temple? Are they? And then why did you turn? Oh, so he could take them off my other arm. And so, and Guru Maharaj was saying that. He said the post, or the guinea stamp, meaning the coin, is the man is like a guinea stamp, or his position is like a guinea stamp. But the man, the position is like a guinea stamp, whether you're a sannyasi, grihasta. But the gold, which is backing that up, that is in the heart of the man. So if we have $1 and there's no gold backing it up, then it is not it's not useful. But if there's gold, so the position of a man is like the guinea stamp, and the gold that is backing that up, that is in his heart. That is the nature of that person. So that is it's a very good talk by Guru Maharaj, and it's explaining all these things. So we have to watch our own position inwardly and not take any position outwardly. Well, we have to watch, what is my position in Trinadapi Sunicena? Am I making any progress in that? Like that. So this is a really lovely thing. So Gopinath Pattanayaka, who was saved, his life was saved, just as a byproduct of his remembering Mahaprabhu. He's saying, but I am not favored by you because I am still involved in my household life. And Mahaprabhu said, no, that's nothing. You do your duty. You have a duty to do. You do that properly. It is your devotion to me that is your wealth, not whether you are in this order or that order. Is that all very clear?
I didn't understand why he preferred the Grihastas.
What?
Why he preferred Grihastas?
He didn't. Who? Ramanuja? Oh, this Grihasta.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. And they were jealous. Why are you loving him so much? He's just a householder. And we're sannyasis. Why are you giving him so much attention? And he said, okay, I'll show you why. He's more detached than you. You may only have one or two things, but you're very attached to them. And he's giving everything, he doesn't care at all. So it's just a beautiful story. It is a true story from the Ramanuja Sampradaya. The stories of Ramanuja, many very beautiful stories that Guru Maharaj tells. Any other question?
No.
So this is coming from, and again, Gopinath Pattanayaka, this is coming out. And then Mahaprabhu's continuing. Kintu mora kahila eka agya palana, vyayana kariha kichu rajara mula dana. However, just obey one order from me, he's saying to Gopinath Pattanayaka. Do not spend the king's revenue. It's like, don't become sinful. Don't become a criminal and thinking, I'm okay, I can do anything I want. No, we're not thieves. When a person forgets his position as an eternal servant of Krishna, he commits many sinful activities. But one who maintains his position as an eternal servant of Krishna cannot deviate from the path of morality, religion, and ethics. Now, that is not always the case, of course, and Srila Prabhupada has explained this also many times, but it depends on the consciousness and the intention. But he's giving a warning here, that just because one is a devotee doesn't mean now I can do all kinds of immoral things and I'm immune from that. No, that can affect us very much. That's why we follow these principles. So he's saying, I'm going to tell you one thing to do. Don't commit this unlawful behavior. Haribol. So Prabhupada's continuing. At the present, people all over the world, especially in India, have forgotten their relation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His eternal servants. Therefore, the principles of morality, religion, and ethics have almost disappeared. The situation is most unprofitable for human society. Therefore, everyone should try to accept Krishna consciousness and follow the principles of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these principles of religious life that we follow, we're following for the sake of our progress in love of God, not for any upliftment in the world. And I'll go to heaven, I'll get a nice situation. We have to be on guard against those kinds of motives. I mean, they're gradually going to leave us completely, hopefully. But we're working on that. But at the same time, if we deviate from those, we can be very, very much affected by that. Whereas a great devotee, he can do anything for Krishna. It doesn't make any difference to his, if he can follow, break, or whatever, anything he can be doing. He can be selling fish in the marketplace. It doesn't make any difference. But we who are still materially motivated, if we deviate from the path of some moral conduct, it will affect our consciousness, definitely. So this is our practicing life, for sure. And Mahaprabhu is many times teaching these things. Rajara mula dana diya je kichuna labya hai, se dana kariha nana dharme karme vyai. First you should pay the revenue due to the king, and then you may spend the balance for religious and fruitive activities. Asabhyayana kariha jate dui lokayai, Etabali sabakare dilena vidai. Don't spend a farthing for sinful activities, for which you will be the loser, both in this life and in the next. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bade them farewell. Any questions?
No.
All right. Rayera gari prabhura kripa vivarta kahila bhakta vatsalya gunajate vyakta haila. Thus the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was spoken of in the family of Bhavananda Rai. They were always speaking about this. That mercy was clearly demonstrated, although it appeared to be something different. The result of advancement in spiritual knowledge is not material improvement. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised Gopinath Pattanayaka how to use material opulence without incurring reactions to sinful life. From this advice it appeared that the Lord encouraged Gopinath Pattanayaka to enhance his material condition. Actually, however, he did not. In fact, this was but a manifestation of his great affection for his devotee. So what the Lord is doing in affection and what the devotee is receiving in that platform of real affection may look mundane, but it is not. If I give you a gift, that does not mean that your dealings toward me were to get that gift. Right? Do you follow? If two friends are giving gifts to each other, it doesn't mean that their behavior was to get that gift. That is just an affection, of as we are seeing here in the Upadesamrta. These are symptoms of affection between the devotees. Affection is different. Real affection, meaning in relation to the Lord, and otherwise there is no real affection. Affection between devotees, and what to speak of between the Lord and the devotees, is not tinged with mundane motivation. Are you catching that?
Yeah, I'm watching you here.
No, but you're catching the point, right?
Yeah.
So if the Lord is giving something to the devotee, it's not that the devotee's relationship with the Lord is on the plane of I'm doing this for the Lord so he gives me things. It's actually an exchange of affection. The Lord is free. He can give anything to anyone. He can give these things to a devotee, but the devotee is not motivated that way. So this is why Srila Saraswati Thakur is saying it looks like something different, but it's actually just affection. Gopinath Pattanayaka is not worshipping the Lord so that he's going to save him from death. But the Lord can save him from death out of affection if he wants to. It's just an exchange of affection, not of materially motivated religiosity. So we need to know the difference between those two things. And Gopinath Pattanayaka is saying, it seems like you don't really favor me because you know, like that. And these are exchanges of real affection between devotees and the Lord. So this is a fine point, and it is a really good thing to think about. I love that. It's so helpful. So that mercy was clearly demonstrated, although it appeared to be something different. Shabaya and the ordinary people think, oh, they're devotees of Lord Chaitanya, therefore, Lord Chaitanya saved them from this and this and this. That's not on the platform of affection. That's on the platform of mundanely motivated material religion. But that was not the relationship between Bhavananda Rai and his 5 sons with Mahaprabhu. That was living in a higher, much different atmosphere of devotion. Shabaya alingya prabhu vidaya jabedila haridwani kari shababhakta uttigela. How important are these points? So many fine things. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced them all and bade them farewell. Then all the devotees got up and left, loudly chanting the holy name of Hari. Prabhura kripadeki sabara haila chamatkara tahara bhujite nare prabhura vyavahara. Seeing the extraordinary mercy the Lord granted to the family of Bhavananda Rai, everyone was struck with wonder. They could not understand the behavior of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All right. Any questions about this point?
Not online, and
I don't want to rush this, so I'm going to stop here. No, I'm waiting for you, but I was going to finish this chapter today, but I think I'm going to wait because I don't want to rush past these important points. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is taking great pains to help us to discern one thing from another. One of the devotees I heard in a talk asked Guru Maharaj, are the demigods, they're devotees of the Lord, right? And Mahaprabhu said, not pure devotees. There's motivation. They're very much attached to their heavenly position. And they know that the Lord is the Lord. But when in the higher devotees, who are free from all material motivation, their relationship with the Lord is based on actual affection, not some mundane thing. Anyways, yeah, what were you going to say, people? They're not motivated. They're not thinking, oh, if I worship the Lord, He's going to save my life. They're not thinking like that at all. Or He's going to give me things, or He's going to make sure I'm not in trouble. Kunti Devi said, bring more trouble. I want more trouble. Our closeness with you was so much in those troublesome times. So now we're all comfortable. We're living, Yudhisthira is the emperor of the world. And there's no trouble, and now you're going away. So bring trouble.
I don't have a question.
Oh, okay. Jai. Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki jai. Srila Om Vishnupade Si Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. So let unmotivated devotion for you be born in my heart, life after life. What is the beginning of that verse from Shikshastakam? Mahaprabhu is saying, Na danam, na janam, na sundarim, bhavitam va jagadisha kamai, bhava janmani janmani sware, bhavatad bhaktir ahoitiki. I'm a little rusty on it. But he's saying, I don't want this, I'm not asking for this, I'm not asking for a romantic relationship. I'm not asking for money, I'm not asking for fame. But life after, I'm not even asking for liberation from birth and death. Let life after life, the only thing I'm asking is that actual devotion for you will be manifested in my heart. That's all I want for you, from you. So even if our mind is going, oh, wait a minute, from our heart we need to make this prayer and defeat the mind.
The problem is when the heart is very polluted, and in my case, my heart is still very suspicious, and it's hard to want something that one hasn't even seen or felt.
Hasn't felt. I understand that. So we're just hearing these things. Actually, hearing is purifying our heart. So we just continue hearing. And that sunshine, that shining sun of divine knowledge will come and clean the heart. Like the sun will actually purify anything. It can purify anything. It's amazing. Any junk, garbage, pollutant, bacteria, anything. The strong sunshine can clean it all. So this is that sun of divine knowledge coming in the form of sound. It is divine substance coming in the form of sound. Just like the Ganga divine substance coming in the form of water. That will purify us just by regular hearing. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. So these are all important things for us to hear regularly. And we can see that it is true. But it's taking some time. That's normal. Everything will take some time. But that ideal is there. That I want to want that. Or I want to want that. Because it is honest. It is truth.
Yeah.
It is real. Why aspire for fake things when real things are being offered to us? What did Gopinath Pattanayaka said? I don't care about this material stuff that the king is giving me. One single drop of your mercy is more than billions of universes of opulence. I'm really paraphrasing here. I have to look that up again. It's like, this is nothing. One drop of your mercy will drown the universe in happiness. And one universe of mundane happiness, and it really adds up to nothing. It just adds up to nothing. There's a story in the Garga Samhita about Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva approaching the divine plane. And one Braja Gopi comes and says, "Who are you?" So, this is who we are. He said, "Oh, you demigods, you're like little bugs in a bottle." I'm sassy.
Wow.
You have no happiness at all. You're just feeling so important, but you're like little bugs in a bottle. Of course, she's trying to give them some real knowledge, but what to speak of us crawling around on the Earth planet, trying to get some juice.
That's heavy.
Oh dear. But we have this wonderful prospect. It's like, what are you doing? There's so many stories. Great personality coming to a poor man who's living on the street. You say, why are you living on the street? Your father is so rich. Why have you gone mad? Living on the street with no happiness. Hare Krishna. And also, there's another thing that, in the beginning of a meal, in normal eating, Ayurvedic eating, you start the meal with something bitter. The meal begins with a bitter thing. And that bitter thing gives appetite. So we're sometimes hearing something that feels bitter to us, but that will give appetite to us. And we will get good appetite for the divine.
Devi, can I share something? I've been thinking after this tetanus thing.
This what?
This tetanus.
Oh, tetanus, yeah.
This little situation, I was like,
Yeah.
researching photos
of tetanus, and they're all like this.
Heavy, and then trying to see the Lord
Yesterday,
behind.
Hari April stepped on a rusty nail that had been a part of the bathroom for like 100 years.
Oh my God.
So he started looking at pictures of tetanus.
There are diseases out there that they're like so heavy, but that's part of the material world, right? Death, disease.
Has to be.
It has to be. But
It is actually medicine.
Yeah, that's the point. Is like it requires so much faith to see the Lord behind those heavy things, and to actually see that it's purifying. It requires faith. What does He require?
No, it's not quite like that. Krishna says in Gita, I am not the cause of anyone's suffering. The living entity's free will is the cause of their suffering. We have to take responsibility for that. If somebody goes out and gets drunk and gets in a car crash, whose fault is it?
That person.
It is the result of his behavior. So if we become super selfish and just super indulgent, then what will it take for me to come back to a place of some humility, some natural feeling? It would take a lot. And the universal law is actually not, Krishna's not paying that much attention. That is the natural, logical, completely normal law of action and reaction. But the Lord intervenes. The Lord is behind that, but only in an impersonal, like not directly. But the Lord begins to intervene in the case of a devotee, and giving only what is necessary, where the karma may be much worse. But what is necessary is coming. Just like you throw a ball against the wall, it's going to come back. But in the case of someone who's approaching the Lord has got the ball, and He's throwing it back as necessary for us. And everyone has the option to take shelter of the Lord. But necessary for what? Necessary for me to become fully His. So these are all important things. And it's not that the Lord is, going to intervene with everyone's karma. If they're don't want to be part, He's not intervening. That if we want to live in this plane, that's what it is. Otherwise, you see these really horrible, selfish persons who are willing to kill thousands and thousands of living entities just for their own satisfaction in this tiny little life. What do you think will be their future? But then you just see that future and you think, oh, that poor person, but you don't know what's gone on before. You do not know. We don't know what medicine is necessary to bring about some change in that person's heart. We can't even understand that. We don't know the path. All of this is all happening in a huge scale of universal time. Very heavy. And the scriptures and the sages are all telling us, what are you doing here? You don't have to live here. Oh no, but I like it. It's all free will. Oh no, but I want this thing, but I don't believe in God if I see some reaction coming to someone. But I want to do what I want. But I don't believe in God, because why should people suffer? You can't just take half the coin. You have to take both sides. That is what it is. But we don't realize that our nature is so rotten. We think it's pretty good. But as we go on in our devotional life, and so many lessons are coming, if we pay attention, we'll see, oh, yeah, that was important to happen to me. I see this. I see this now. I see the change going on. I see myself. I see this covering over myself that I couldn't see before. I'm thinking I'm just some innocent victim. But I am not.
I hear you. And what comes to my mind is the first obstacle. And a big fear that I have is a disease, or losing a part of my body, or being in coma, like something heavy when it comes to body.
Yeah.
Getting blind or something,
Yeah.
which can happen.
Yeah.
So that possibility creates some resistance. If that will happen, I will feel, wow, like, how could this be good for me?
Yeah.
But seeing the big picture,
Yeah.
it gives some relief. And now my question is, in order for us to surrender, is it important for us to first realize that we are souls? Because if we realize we are souls, we wouldn't be so attached.
It's through surrender that you will realize you're a soul. Because through surrender, we're allowing the affectionate environment to rectify me. And all those layers coming off, then we can come to the plane of the soul. Then we can become so grateful, crying in gratitude for every one of those lessons. Humility is very important. It's the nature of the soul. It's the nature of reality. In Goloka Vrindavan, Guru Maharaj once expressed the Goloka Vrindavan as greatness couched in humility. Did you hear that? Greatness couched in humility. Humility is the nature of reality. All of this bravado and things like that, these are not, I mean, externally a devotee can also have those qualities, bravado, or I'm going to do this and that. That's okay. But all for the Lord. So underneath all of that is deep softness of heart. It's not based on ego. It's based on a person's nature. There's so many different kinds of, like that Brajagopi. But underneath, such softness for Krishna. And then it's great. Then it's substantial. All the other things based on ego will be smashed. Guru Maharaj said, the demon of reaction will come and cut your throat and drink your blood. Devi Shakti's giggling in the kitchen. And of course, it's based on something completely ridiculous. It will all be wiped away from in the sandstorm of time. Good questions, Prabhu. So Guru Maharaj is saying you have to come out and see the big universal truth, not this small provincial truth in which we are now presently living. And just like a child, I remember there was this one child, the son of one of my friends. We were living together in our families were sharing a house in London. And this child was very naughty. Like on a different scale of naughty. And she was very tolerant. And one day I took the child and I said, "You stop that right now." And blah, blah, blah. So I took him by the scruff of his shirt and I put him into the bathroom and locked the door. And he, blah, blah, he's screaming, banging on the door, saying all kinds of bad things to me. And I said, "I'm right here, you're not in any danger, but you're not coming out until you apologize, until you behave yourself." And it took a little while, and then he said, "Okay, I'm going to be good." And I opened up the door, and that child, for the first time, was smiling ear to ear. And his face was bright, like really bright. So don't underestimate the power of just losing something in this world and coming to a plane of actual happiness and humility. So Krishna says, the wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. Do give knowledge. That is the relief we're seeking. Knowledge and connection with Krishna. So we can understand why things are happening. Very important. Any other comments or questions?
No. Over here. No. I mean...
So look at this story, just this story of Gopinath Pattanayaka. How many beautiful things are coming out in Chaitanya Charitamrita. On the level of beauty and truth that is not found in any other scripture in the universe.
Q is saying, get well soon from tetanus.
Who, me? I'm not sick, but thank you.
Q.
Thank you very much. Oh, because I had a cough.
No, he told me, like, get...
Oh, get well soon. Aw. That's sweet.
I mean...
Very well-wisher type of man.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I don't know, this is all... I mean, it's beautiful practice, yet at the same time it makes the ego crumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you like to spar, you're gonna find a good sparring partner in your ego. Oh Lord. There's a story, Hiranyakashipu tells this story at the funeral of Hiranyaksha.
He tells a story here, the demon?
Yeah, he's telling a nice philosophical story to calm his relatives down, but in his heart, he's like, I'm going to kill Vishnu. But he's calming everyone else down. But he's saying, there is a king, a very great king, and he's on the battlefield. And he's a very valiant. He's out there killing, and then he lifted up his weapon, and he's biting his lip. And suddenly, his head comes off, and his head's on the ground, biting his lip. So this is the way of material life, Hiranyakashipu is saying. It is temporary, and all of the victories of this world are temporary. One should not, one should feel, take shelter in truth, and all of his relatives, yes, you're right. And he's like, I'm going to kill that guy. I'm going to kill Vishnu. But the story is good anyway. Hare Krishna. But humility, tolerance, Guru Maharaj is saying, giving honor to others, not receiving honor. Now that is substantial. That is substantial. And in that plane, the holy name will manifest. Hare Krishna.
Kyo is asking, Chaitanya Charitamrita is a scripture or a commentary, a biography?
It's a scripture.
It's a scripture.
It is the most high scripture of all time and all space. It is a conclusion of the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic scriptures that were given by Veda Vyas. The commentary, the final conclusion is the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the fulfillment of Srimad Bhagavatam is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hare Krishna. Jai. Well, Vacha Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam Jiva Vegam Udara Pasta Vegam Etan Vegam Yogi Saheta Dhira Sarvam Apimam Prithivim Sasisya. All of these verses are also coming to life from these wonderful things that we're hearing in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Atyahara prayasascha prajapo niyamagraha janasanga chalolyam cha sadbir bhaktir vinyashiti utsahan nishchayatarya tat karma pravartanat sangajyagat sato vite sadbir bhaktir prasidyati. Dadati pratigrahnati, changes of love. Guhyam makyati pruchati, bhungte bhojayate chaiva sadvidam prikti lakshanam. Sincere interactions between devotees. Very beautiful and really coming out from this story of Gopinath Ratanayaka. Exchanges of love between the Lord and the devotee. Nothing motivated at all. Krishneti asya kiritam manasadriyeta dikshasti che pranadibhishcha bhajantam isham shushaya bhajana vigyam ananya manya nindadi shunyam hidam ipshita shangalabdya dishtaishya bhava janite vapushascha doshe na prakritatvam miha bhakta janasya pasye Gangam vasam na kalu buddhape na panke brahmadravatvam apagachati niradharmai. So, again, the position is the guinea stamp, but the man, the heart of the man, that is the gold. So, just like the Ganga. Ganga is water, but it is the essence of Brahmadravatvam. Syat Krishna nama charitari sitapya vidya pitopatapta rasanasya rochikanu kinvadaran anudinam kalu shaiva jushta swadvikramad bhavati tad gadamula hantri tannama rupa charitari sukirtananu smrityo kramayena Rasana manasi niyojya tishtam braje tadanuragi jaganu nagami jananugami kalam nayed akilam itupadesha sharam jai Sri Upadesamrta ki jai Sri Rupa Goswami ki jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta ki jai. Our Divine Master in our Sri Rupa Nuga line, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki jai, Srila Om Vishnupad, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Ooh. I'll just do Thank you. Okay. Hari Hara Nama Krishna Yadavaya Jai Saparika Shri Guru Gaur Chandra Ju Ki Jai, Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ju Ki Jai. Beautiful Mahaprabhu. Jai, beautiful Giriraj Ju Ki Jai. Giriraj is taken care of so nicely by the devotees, but chiefly Devi Shakti deities taking care very nicely for all of our good fortune and benefit in spiritual life. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajakacharya Astatir Sri Srimati Bhakti Sundar Govinda Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribhajakacharya Astatir Sri Srimati Bhakti Rakak Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Chaitanya Saraswati Charja Vrinda Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Jai. Saparshad Sriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. I wanted to say that again because I wasn't paying attention. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Taliya Saka Mat Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai. Kol Kartal Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi
Haribo. Jai Srimati Shri Upadesamrta Ki Jai.